See you, TMG.
Let's talk basketball. I think to end the pod, we're going to talk about Giannis, but we're going to wait for a basketball aficionado to come talk about Giannis. So we're going to give our top 10s to end this pod, you know.
Top 10s?
Yeah, top 10s. I prefer to do our top 10, you know. It's a bit more controversial.
I think let's try to save that for...
We can give it now.
And then he get his opinion.
Yeah.
Top 10s. Okay. A top 10. I'm going to go from 10.
We can exchange names on the list and, you know, we can discuss
10.
it.
Top 10. Who's my 10th player?
I want to start from 1.
You want to start from 1?
Yeah, because then I have a clear...
Okay, start from 1 then.
The number 1 player in the NBA right now, is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay. My number 1 is KD.
So let's debate. That's my number 2. I have Giannis because he currently holds the throne. You know.
He does.
Obviously, I was debating between him and KD, and it basically comes down to that game 7. And I can't blame KD because KD played out of his mind, to be honest. But I have to go with the person that won the chip, you know. Won the chip, did it authentically with his home team, been through the ups and downs of Milwaukee Bucks.
There's ups and downs.
You know, and he came through. It's just the totality. I'm just looking at it from a holistic view, you know. KD came together with a bunch of guys with stars. It's unfortunate they got injured, but they didn't get over the line. Well, I can't blame him for that, but he's just not my number 1 right now, you know. He can be. I think if you were to look over a 5-year span, KD's number 1. But right now, I've got Giannis.
For me, I still have to put KD number 1. He played out his skin. Arguably the best playoff performance we've ever seen. Even though Giannis game 6 against the Suns was running pretty close. The reason I don't put Giannis number 1 right now, even though it's very close, I just feel the manner in which the playoffs unfolded, the amount of injuries on both sides, even the way he won against the Nets, injuries to Harden, injuries to Kyrie, because before Kyrie went down, they were getting smoked. And even Harden really went down, and then obviously the Lakers, they had their injuries to deal with. The Clippers, if the Clippers get to the final, are they beating the Clippers? I don't know. There's just too many injuries, and he was the last man standing, him and his team. Even though he had his own injury, he came back, to be fair, halfback extended knee, like Superman, I give him his credit. And this is hard for me to say, because I love Giannis. Giannis, by what he did, he became my favourite player over LeBron. But if I'm being fair, the way things unfolded, I can't give him number 1 just yet. If next season they replicate it, then fair enough, I'll give him number 1 outright. Because I don't want to give him number 1 and be like, KD comes back and they become number 1, and he takes number 1 from me. Even though
KD can still take it. Even being number 1 doesn't mean you're going to sustain it. Because if we were to do this list last year, would you not have said LeBron is number 1?
I would have said LeBron, yes, he's number 1.
So it doesn't mean, I think as of now, from what we can see from resumes as of now, Giannis is number 1. You can say KD might be the best. KD probably is the best. He probably is, but I can't give it to him because he didn't win the chip.
KD's the most skilled player.
Yeah,
but skills is not all about skills.
So then let's talk about Giannis defensively. Can KD do what Giannis does defensively?
KD can't do what Giannis does defensively. Giannis defensively is another level. But KD's a very good defender, especially when he puts his mind to it. And Giannis, will KD be able to do the same thing if he was with the Bucks and Giannis with the Nets? But then again, you know what I mean? KD does have a better team to play with. I just feel...
If you swap them, do you think the Bucks still win the championship?
Yeah, they do. If I swap them...
Are you sure?
If I swap them and they have the injuries the way they do...
Okay, the injuries. Babe.
If there's no injuries, then fair enough. I think the Nets would win, be honest. Yeah, it's too much. They'll pretty much play Giannis at the 5, 4 shooters around him, Harden, Kyrie. As long as the egos mesh well, yeah, there's no injuries. But with injuries, I think KD would have won with the Bucks. It's very close, but I still give the edge to KD.
So our top 2s are interchangeable.
Yes. So I got Giannis second.
Okay, I got KD second. Okay, number 3. Who you got?
Number 3. So I was so close to getting it to Kawhi.
Kawhi is not in my top 10. A man is injured, so I can't put him in.
He's in my top 10.
He's not in my 10.
But the injuries came. But I want to 3. I have to give it to. I'll give it to Bron. To be third.
I agree with you. I think LeBron James is third. it's just it's obviously on the decline. The best basketball brain, so he still has opportunity to apparently to reclaim his stake as number one in the game, but for now, he's number 3.
Yeah,
number 3.
I give number 3.
So 4.
4.
This is where I think we're gonna start differing.
Different.
And well, who's your 4th?
Who is my 4th? I'll let you go first.
My 4th.
I know you're gonna say.
My 4th is Luka Doncic.
Nonsense.
He's one of the only guys that can affect the game playmaking wise and scoring wise, putting pressure on it. If you give him effective role players, you know, if he doesn't play with Porzingis, he puts the healthy Clippers team to 7 games, and they would have been in the finals. They would have been in the finals if Kawhi was healthy. They would have been in the finals. He is the 4th best player in the world. He's just one piece away.
Well, who would have been the finals? The Clippers.
Yeah, the Clippers would have been in the finals.
Yeah.
He's just one piece away. He literally just one piece away from it. I don't think next year I just want him to win a playoff round because that's what he needs to do next year. But he's just one piece away.
I mean, for me, 4. He had an amazing playoff run before his injury, unfortunately. And when it mattered the most, even though his team was a lot stronger than Luka's team, he was able to bother Luka and was able to be the difference in the end in that series. I'll still give it to Kawhi the Claw Leonard. This is my number 4.
Number 4. I think it's a good number 4. I just want to make a disclaimer. I'm not putting Kawhi on my list. He's not going to play next year. We know how Kawhi is. He's not even re-signed with the Clippers. I can't trust a man like Kawhi. So he's not on my list. A man that's not playing next year is not on my list.
We don't know if he's not playing next year.
So 5. Now this is where the list is just up in the air. My 5 and 6, they're both centers. They're both centers. I am going to take Embiid as my number 5 player in the NBA. The reason I'm taking Embiid is because he's a man mountain. The defensive rating of the opposition just plummets when he's on the floor. He's the center of the universe and he's still doing it old style. Has a mid-range shot. Occasionally can shoot the 3. If he gets it all together, stays fit, he can be the piece to win the championship. He's unfortunate that Simmons didn't come through because he would have been in the conference round. And I'd love to see that Embiid and his matchup. And if Embiid had won that matchup, this list could be totally different. To the point that Embiid could have been number 1 on this list if he had won.
He really could have been. But Embiid, he talk about Kawhi's injuries. Embiid, I can't trust that guy whatsoever. He's just unreliable. I mean, the greatest ability is
availability,
and Embiid has that none of that whatsoever. Has no cachet. His belly's hurting. He's got a knee tear. He's belly aching. Blah blah blah. My belly. My belly. I don't know. Embiid, he's in my top 10. Unlike how you egregiously put Kawhi out. Embiid's in my top 10, but he's not number 5 for me. I think with number 5 for me, I will go with. It's tough. I'm gonna go with. It's really tough to be fair. I'm gonna go with Steph.
Steph.
I'm gonna go with Steph Curry.
I don't have Steph this high in my list because
I'm gonna go with Steph Curry.
He didn't get his team to the playoffs. I'm sorry. You're a superstar.
I'm gonna go with Steph Curry.
I've seen Westbrook take his team to the playoff with lesser pieces. So I'm just gonna watch. I'm watching you, and you know that's true.
I'm gonna go with Steph Curry.
You know that's Westbrook's taking his team to the playoffs with less pieces than this.
I'm gonna go with Steph Curry. My guy, Steph Curry.
The gravity of Curry. Curry's on my list, but he's not here.
I'm still going with Steph Curry. I mean, he had a bit of injuries as well, missed a couple games. But the pieces he had nobody. Jim Green. He's regressed.
Andrew Wiggins.
Jim Green's regressed heavily. Andrew Wiggins is so unreliable. I mean, when Westbrook had Oladipo was better than Andrew Wiggins. Steph Curry, the amount of double teams and triple teams he was facing was crazy. For him to still put up those numbers,
we've got to do more.
Scoring leader.
Yeah, I'm
going with Steph.
Well, Curry's on my list, obviously, because the gravity of what he does and how he draws people up. My number 6 is Nikola Jokic, league MVP. What he did after Murray was out was impressive, and actually to win a playoff round with the pieces that he had, with no guard play, and if you wing play, I have to give him this.
Okay, number 6 is Jokic. My number 6 is Luka.
Oh, it's strange, yeah. At least you're giving him credit. He's top 10 player. That's what I like to hear.
He's top 10 player. Still got stuff to work on defensively. He is very efficient in the manner of where he plays. He kind of plays in the model of his idol, I guess, LeBron James. Dominates the ball, controls the whole offense, and he's a walking triple double basically every night. Essentially, basically average like 29, 8 and 8 or whatever. Still needs to work on his leadership skills. He's only young. Defensively, he's a liability. He needs to work on that or have solid defense around him. But I like to see how he meshes well with another top level talent. Porzingis was supposed to be that. Unfortunately, Porzingis hasn't transpired to be the talent we thought would be.
It's a loser.
So I don't think it's an absolute guarantee. Give him another top level player and they hit the ground running straight away, because I feel there will be some growing pains like there were with LeBron. I mean, when you play with someone like that who dominates the ball so much, he's so ball dominant. Is there enough time? Can they play off the ball? Is there enough time for you to eat? That sort of stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll give him number 6. I mean, especially what he's done in the Olympics as well. I mean, got Sevilla to the semi-final.
That's really good. Impressive. Okay, my 7 is Steph Curry. I think that talks without saying, as you said, the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. The gravity of what he does is so impressive. I really, really impressed with Steph Curry shooting display this season. I wish he had got them into the playoffs. That would have been really good to see that 1-8 matchup. I think they would have given Utah a run for their money. Just knowing Steph, he would have given at least 2 games they would have taken. But yeah, Steph's my 7.
My 7 is Jokic. It's very close between him and Embiid. I just can't trust Embiid's fitness. Jokic is reliable. He'll play every game. He'll be there every single moment of the season. Yes, he's a defensive liability. Unlike your Embiid is a defensive stalwart. But the reliability for me is more important, and the way you can control the game, control the pace of the game. Again, he's now a triple double threat. Can shoot, can pass, mid range is there. So yeah, he'll be my number 7.
My number 8 is James Harden. He can morph into any different role you give him on the floor, be it scorer, be it distributor. He's been able to play so many different roles. He's been the 6th man. He's been the main scorer. He's been the point guard. I'm just really impressed with Harden this season. I wish he hadn't got injured. If he can just get a little bit more fitter, I think he'll be more impressive this season. Hopefully stay away from injuries, but I was really impressed with him. Had a case for MVP this year before his injury. So yeah, Harden number 8.
James Harden. Okay, I feel you. My number 8 is going to be Embiid. Obviously, 2-way player, mid-range. Can guard, obviously, center really well. Can even do a decent job. We switch him out to other positions. Protects the paint like no other. He's a beast. Just needs to stay fit. Probably needs to work on his leadership skills a bit. Obviously, him and Simmons didn't finish the season well enough. Hopefully, I can get him another superstar that can shoot. Open up the floor for him a bit more. But he just really needs to stay fit, take his condition to the next level, and let's see what he can do. But Embiid, because he was on track to win MVP, it wasn't for his injury. But then again, availability. So for me, he'll be my number 8.
My number 9 is... This way it gets tricky. The 9 and 10 is a bit tricky. I'm going to have to put AD here as my number 9 for the simple fact that he's a champion. He was very impressive in the bubble. Without AD's injury, the Suns don't win. I think you have to give it to him as the 9th best player in the league. He was a lot higher ranked before the season. But yeah, I'm very impressed with him.
People call him top 5.
Yeah, they were. They were calling him top 5 until he started moving. He started this season. His availability has been poor. Been an iffy jump shooter.
Very iffy. Just don't like him.
So yeah, he's number 9 on my list.
Number 9 for me, James, the Beard, Harden. Like you said, even before his injury, he done really well. He was in the running for MVP. similar to what Kane did in football. He forces he's the blueprint for Kane. He forces way out. The team came into the season out of shape. Maybe that's why potentially contribute to his injury, carrying that extra weight earlier in the season that he's not usually carrying. So maybe wear and tear. But yeah, he can play multiple roles. Great passer, great facilitator, great scorer, good shooter. Unfortunately, we didn't really get to see him in the playoffs to kind of redeem himself because he got injured. Obviously against the Celtics, but they want to beat the Celtics anyway. But we got injured against the Bucks in the first game, and the last 2 games they did play, the last 2-3 games he did play, he wasn't really at it. But hopefully for his case next season we can see what he can do. But yeah, James Harden is my number 9.
So my number 10. You know what? I'm gonna put. Kawhi should be on my list, but because Kawhi is not on my list, I'm gonna put his running mate on his list due to his impressive playoff performance. So the 10th spot was very tight. It was between Booker, PG, CP3. I'm trying to go down a list of guys. Dame. I think Middleton has Middleton doesn't have a case. It was a good closer in the playoffs, but I like wings, and I'm gonna side with the wing in this situation. And I'm gonna put Paul George there. I think he was really impressive in this playoffs. He did show up. I think there's just some bits that he needs to improve on, but
top 10.
He had belonging this playoffs, and I'm very, very impressed with what he did to get this far. I think he was a leader as well, because if Kawhi wasn't there, who was the leader? It had to be Paul George. So I'm impressed with Paul George.
The leader was Ty Lue.
Obviously, Paul George is just here because he's just Kawhi's replacement. Basically.
For me, PG was nowhere near that. I mean, he improved because before I think I had him out of the top 20 at the end of last season.
Oh, Paul George was winning games. Dame wasn't.
But this season I had him. You know what? See, he's probably in top 20 now again. But for me, he's not there.
Who's your 10?
My 10 is, drum roll please, it's the KD to the JD to the motherfucking AD. That's my number 10.
You got Kawhi on the list. So it would have been in 11th.
11th would have been probably, it would have tossed up between Dame, Books, and CP3.
I had those guys, they're there. They're all around. I think PG's in that conversation now.
No.
Even Trey might be even in that conversation.
Trey's top 20 for sure. I probably would have, if we're doing it right now, probably would have edged CP3.
I think I got Booker above CP3, but I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
He's too inconsistent.
There's a lot of honourable mentions here.
CP3 or Dame. I mean, I just don't like the way the Dame went out first round. Jamal Murray.
I think Mitchell's
up there as well, yeah.
Mitchell, honourable mention to him. Booker, CP3, all of those men.
There's a lot of talent in this league.
Julius Randle, your top 50 for me.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown gonna be back.
Tatum was the one they were anointing.
Middleton's
20. Top 20, 25.
Drew Holiday defensively as well.
Bill, top 25. Westbrook, they're top 25 players, but, they're not exactly.
Also Westbrook. Hey, see that boy Cade Cunningham, let's see what he can do.
If you think he's top 25, Cade is not better than. Cade is Doncic's light. He's got a lot of the same skills.
But he's athletic.
The one that you should be watching is the Jalen. What's the one? Jalen Green. I think he's gonna be the one. He might be the most talented out of this class. He's athletic. He can jump out the gym.
They're comparing Cade Cunningham. They're comparing him to Grant Hill and Luka Doncic. I mean, if you got Luka Doncic and Grant Hill's athleticism, if you can be
they're not athletic, but they got the speed. They know how to manipulate space and time.
And if you can commit to defense, because Luka, as much as you can try to be a smart defender, play past lanes, and just use his brain and his IQ to.
He does that in the international
situations out. But with Cade Cunningham's athleticism, he can actually make an impact defensive potentially. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you for listening to Two Man Game. Please,
make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on all socials. That'd be the Instagram, the Twitter. For listen to us audibly, make sure you listen to us through Apple Podcasts, also Spotify.
Audibly.
That's what I said. Yeah, we already said that.
Okay.
TMG boys, we're out.
We're out.
All right, time for that shit. This one's a bit dark, but it's calm.